So today I'm gonna take you down memory lane, talk about all the fuck ups that I've gone through when it came to my filmmaking journey. So one of the mistakes that I've made in my filmmaking journey is being scared to raise my prices. I know that is the biggest, scariest thing when it comes to filmmaking, debating like if you up your price, are you gonna lose clients? What's gonna happen? There was a lot of times in my past where I didn't want to charge because I was gonna lose these people. I was charging everybody $400 at one point, and I was like, dude, if I go from 400 to 600, a lot of these people are not gonna join me. Stop thinking so small and understand the higher your prices jump, that means your work is getting better and you're only justifying your skill set you're bringing to the table, that you have to charge that, but you are going to get people within that. Now, if somehow you raise your prices and you're not getting those clients, then chances are you don't have the skill set, or maybe you're just not in the eyes of a lot of people. And it's just about networking and getting your brand and your videos out there. But eventually my girl told me, you should charge $600. You're doing way too much for that price. When I did, people were still paying me that price. That's when I realized maybe I should be charging even more, because they were okay paying me an extra $200. So then I went to $800. I lost some of them. They're like, damn, you know, you're charging $400, now you're charging double. I lost some, but I gained a lot more. And then on top of that, then when I went up to 1,000, which I think I did it 3 months after I went up to $800, people were still paying my price. And you know, people will come, they'll see the value that you're bringing. For me, I feel like I was bringing a big skill set that I needed to keep upping my price. And you guys will know when it's time. Don't be scared. You are going to lose people. Keep that in mind. But you're going to get only better. With every higher budget, that means your execution, your videos will be a lot better. Your portfolio will look a lot better. So there's only good things to come when you're upping your price. You're going to lose people, but better outcome, better client. Don't be scared to up your prices. The next mistake that I've made in the past is not understanding business and passion. So for example, I used to shoot a lot of weddings, and after shooting so many weddings, eventually I just, you know, you get tired and I stopped pushing it. I stopped promoting it. I stopped really not caring about booking weddings, and I eventually went into music videos, commercial, and all these other creative journeys. The biggest mistake that I've made was I should have maintained the wedding business, even though eventually I just got fed up with it, or I was just tired and it just became, you know, very repetitive. I should have still kept it as a business side point. So I could have gave the editing to somebody else, kept that as a business where I'm making money, outsourcing the editing, and still able to do the passion videos, whether it's a music video, whether it's a commercial shoot that I'm really passionate about. Those are the ones that I want to edit, because those are the ones I'm really like, you know, zoned in on. And all these other avenues that I'm not really passionate for, I should have understood that, you know, still taking them as business, you don't have to edit them, and go ahead and outsource it to one of your friends and pay your friends. So you're kind of giving your boy some money, you're giving yourself some money without really having to go so much into it, because again, it's a business move. Number 3 on the list that I should have done in the past is being super transparent with clients, meaning revisions, you know, talking about everything that there is to know, like being very transparent as far as hourly, how long are you gonna shoot there, you know, what's the turnaround time. Being very transparent will save you a lot of headaches. I know the biggest thing we all go through is like, we're trying to be very nice because we love it and we want to, you know, help them out, and then we end up getting screwed over after because this or that wasn't said, or whatever the case is. So number 1 thing is transparency, and in order to save yourself from any headaches is before you guys, well, actually, once you guys agree on the final thing that you guys, when it comes to the whole project, make sure you either text it or you email them, hey, I'm gonna send you everything we talked about, to make sure we're agreeing with everything, and, you know, want to make sure there's no problems after. That is the biggest thing that I learned within my filmmaking journey, is making sure I send them a message or an email with all the things that we agreed upon on a phone call, or maybe in different text messages. So that way there is no confusion afterwards. Transparency is the biggest thing that will help you maintain the client and avoid any issues that we've all got accustomed to that is just a nightmare. Next mistake, and I think we've all gone through it, if you guys are just starting off, hopefully this saves you guys, but it's get a deposit before you book the client. You need to get a deposit. You can't just book your date for somebody that has not paid you. Get your deposit in order to block out that day, and be transparent and tell them, hey, this is non-refundable. So, you know, and the reason for it is because I can be getting some other client for this day, but because you're booking it, keep in mind, if you plan to switch it, if there's no client that came in between that, I wouldn't mind. But if there was someone else that wanted to shoot that day, but I neglected them because there was our shooting is not happening, you're going to lose a deposit. I'm being clear on that. Now, following up with that, the next mistake that I made was not giving my full money upon the shoot date. So I'm gonna tell you guys from experience, when you guys are working with labels or any big clients or whatever the case is, there will be a time where you'll get your deposit, you'll get another percentage the day of the shoot, and then later on when it comes to the edit, you're supposed to get the remaining amount. I've gone actually twice in my past. This doesn't happen anymore, but in the past where they pay me about 75% of the edit, and then I edit the whole video, and then I tell them, hey, it's ready to go, just send me the payment, and they just ghost me. And yes, it was cool, you know, like I made my money. However, I just wasted all this time when it comes to editing, and I'm just like, what do I do with it? I can't promote it, I can't post it. It's just like a waste. I wasted countless of hours editing on this project, so I didn't get paid for the editing. Or what if I paid an editor and, you know, now I got to pay him out of my pocket, so I lost money thinking I was going to get it after. So moral of the story is get your full payment up front. If they try to, you know, sugarcoat it or try to figure out a way to finesse or whatever, just tell them like, look, I need that money to pay for the editing. You know, that's just for the safety of my side. And you have to understand, if you want, I could write a contract, and so that way, you know, everything's set in stone. But again, protect yourself at all costs. Get your money before you start the editing. Don't be asking for it after, unless that's your boy and you guys shot many times and you can trust him. Then, you know, by all means, go with that. But for the most part, get your money up front at the end of the shoot day. Now, the next mistake that I have made is not work on my brand. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't do that as well. I've seen a lot of people that they just are out there filming, trying to get clients, you know, trying to give a deal out because they just want to film. Look, the biggest advice I can tell you guys is when there's no booking happening, when you got no clients and you have an open schedule and you're doing this full time, work on your brand, whether that be YouTube video or Instagram or TikTok, whatever social media platforms you're good at. Work on your brand, post behind the scenes, then post the official scene. Do whatever you can to build your brand. Building your brand is more important than shooting 20,000 videos, but you have no identity, you have no brand, you have no face. Work on your brand. That's gonna go a long way. You don't just gotta think about working for clients. You can literally work for yourself. For example, you could be a YouTuber making a lot of money for yourself. There's a lot of things that you can do for yourself. However, it takes long, it takes a lot of work, but you can get there. Don't always think about jobs that you have to be doing in order to maintain this. Working on your brand is the most powerful thing. Do not miss that, okay? Now, the next thing to talk about is gear. That's one of the mistakes I have made. So I'll tell you guys one thing. I have invested into a lot of things in my past until this moment. And the biggest regret that I've honestly made has been buying too much gear that I honestly don't use on a day-to-day basis. Like, I should have just rented it out. And I know sometimes we love to have access to it in our house. We want to just be able to grab it and take it out. But if you're not using it for 75% of the time, it's going to sit there and it's just a waste of money. You could honestly just save your money and invest it when the time comes for something that you really need it. Don't just buy things because you're a gear whore like I was at one point. Buy it because you need it, not because you want it. Because that will hold you back from investing to things such as like film studios, real estate. There's a lot of business moves that I do now, but I had all that cash. I didn't have to buy all these things and then sell it for less because of my dumbass deciding to buying things because I was just, I don't know, I love gear. But when you learn to control yourself and save your money and put it for the right things, you will honestly get the most bang for your buck rather than just losing everything on camera gear that you're not really utilizing and touching. The next mistake that I have made in my filmmaking career is not asking the artists to pay a little bit more. Normally, I went with their budget. This is what they had, and that's it. I realized throughout my journey now that I always, sometimes if we need an extra scene or we need an extra body, I would tell them like, hey, can you up it an extra $200 or an extra $300 or an extra $150? Whatever the case, when you say that and explain what the reason is, a lot of the times these clients will pay that price. You just have to be open and understand. Just, it doesn't hurt to ask. And if not, then just let them know like, hey, like we're just going to be tight on time, or we might not be able to execute it the way you kind of want it. But if you explain to them, a lot of times they might pay the extra $300, $100, $150, whatever the price might be. Don't be scared to ask, because I was scared to ask way back, not knowing, you know, you kind of have to. That's just part of business, and it's to make them understand that you're only trying to provide a better video for them. The last one on the list, goddamn, that was a lot, or I feel like it's a lot, unless I cuss them out because I don't think they're as important. But the last one is valuing your time. I've done so many videos in my past where I thought I was getting paid a lot, but then you start breaking down everything that you're doing and you're just like, dude, I'm not making anything. I'm really working like a maniac, stressed out, when I could be working at this job making $25 the hour and making just the same amount, if not even more, because of the hours that go into editing and then all the gear that you're bringing to the shoot. you gotta unvalue your time and everything that you're doing for someone. You know, don't think about the dollar in that moment. Someone could come up to you and be like, hey, it's $5,000. And you might think, damn, this is a lot. Hell yeah. But then you account everything that you're doing, all the gear that you bought. And then at the end of the day, you probably made maybe nothing. And 5,000 could be a lot. But you break down the help and everything that you're doing, your body, you know, your lenses, your camera, all these things that start adding up. It might not be what you think. So understand, value what you bring to the table, value your time. Make sure you're able to break it all down so you can see, okay, 5,000 is worth it. I'm gonna be getting paid about 1,500 at the end of the day, and then, you know, the rest of the money will go towards the editing and so and so. Or if you want to edit, pay yourself an extra $5,000. You made $2,500 and you only worked 5 hours, and you kind of compensate with the editing and whatnot. So just value your time and break it all down before you actually confirm the price, because you'd be surprised. Sometimes the editing could be a lot harder than what it is. So make sure you ask for the treatment, or do they have a vision in mind, or the editing style in mind. All that can play a role into your time with editing or shooting. So just, you know, break it all down before you say yes to the price. Even though it might sound good, it might not be good. So value your time really good and break that down. I feel like I dropped this like 20 times since I've been doing this. I'm gonna put it right. I'll put it down here because it's a wire shows. But anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you found it helpful, subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification for any future uploads that I'll be doing. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.